I have this weird obsession with old electronics. There's just something about using the peak of 20-year-old technology that's so cool to me. They're like time capsules. They feel like actual time travel, the real cutting edge of what tech could be, and they're super accessible compared to buying a $4,000 gadget today. This can actually work out really well for you. And in my experience, the best places to look in are audio and video. Microphones, headphones, speakers. You can argue that the price has gone down and the technology has evolved, but a good sound is a good sound. My receiver is 15 years old and I got it for like 25 bucks. It's plugged into an Apple TV and honestly, I have noticed 0 drops in quality. The headphones here are from 2015, which it's not really old at all if you know headphones, but my point still stands. If you have the choice between new low end or old high end, me personally, I'm picking the old every single time. And microphones are an excellent example of this. I'm sure you've seen this mic right here in plenty of Twitch streams, YouTube videos, podcast clips. It's everywhere. It's actually from 1973. I know what you're thinking. Maybe it's been updated since 1973. It was updated in 2001 and they added a windshield. It is the standard for podcasts and broadcasts. And it's from 1973. This is super simplified and you can feel free to correct me in the comments, but CD quality is really the top level of what people can kind of notice. This is subjective, I know, and there's plenty of blind tests you can take online to test if you can actually hear the difference between CD quality and lossless quality. And again, you can tell me in the comments if you can. But personally, as someone who uses lossless quality, I cannot. We're almost at the peak of raw technical fidelity for sound. It's about taste and price point. Now video, that's something else. 4K TVs are becoming pretty standard in the mid-range now. TV shows, games, movies, all of these things are being offered in 4K and we're actually getting a lot of remasters of past content into 4K. I think it's safe to say that an older TV may not be the best deal for you right now. My receiver has one main issue, and that's that it's not really compatible with today's video formats. Cameras, however, are a completely different story. The camera I'm recording this on is from 2013. It doesn't sound that old, but let's imagine using a phone from 10 years ago for enthusiast to professional level work. This is immensely competitive, and I picked this up with the lens included for $200. The video quality is great, but the real standout feature for most of these older cameras is actually the image quality. I can't argue that my camera has the most megapixels or the fastest autofocus, but it's a great camera. It takes great photos. Honestly, image quality has actually been really, really good for a long time now. Older cameras they have this air of experimentation that I think is really lacking from today's lineups. Older gadgets are great if you're into experimenting, saving a buck, and mainly just changing up your workflow a little bit. But there's one thing about them that I consistently hate. It's cables. We are spoiled with USB-C. I mean, this one single cable can do keyboard and mouse, video, display, sound, storage, everything you want with a single cable. It's magical. And yet you get used to it and then you have to go back and then you realize older devices need like a single cable for every single one of those things. Words cannot express how annoyed I am that I have to take this single micro USB cable for the express purpose of pulling off files from my camera and charging it if I don't have an SD card reader or a battery charger. Hey guys, I'm just watching this in post and I've realized that this is maybe not the best segment I've ever recorded of me ranting, so I'm gonna spare your ears. I'm working on a video about a new camera that I got, which is actually 10 years old now as well, but it's much higher end and I'm really excited to talk to you about it. And it's the Fujifilm X-T1. So if you've lasted this long in the video, sorry about this. Yeah. Enjoy the rest of the video. I hate this. With that being said, some old cables are good. The 3.5mm jack is great, and it was designed in the 50s. XLR is also a great audio cable, and you can actually kind of see it plugged into my microphone right here. Before you run off and buy some new devices, just wait a second. Anything with a non-replaceable battery, like AirPods, should be taken with a heavy spoon of salt. Batteries will degrade over time, it's just a fact. Check online for the price. Always do this. And not only that, check what price they were actually sold for. I can put up a camera for $5,000, but if it only sells for $400, who are we kidding here? Before I wrap this up, I'm not against buying brand new electronics. I just think that we can get a whole lot more use out of stuff already manufactured, and lowering the amount of e-waste that we produce is really important if we want to curb this culture of buying instead of repairing. I don't want to live in a world where every piece of enthusiast hardware is considered disposable and should be thrown out at the first sign of failure, and that these things cannot be reused for other purposes. I remember when I was a kid and being given like old janky laptops that I could, repair, and if they didn't work, I could use them as like an actual computer, like a desktop, and reusing it, and that was super exciting to me. Even replacing the battery on a laptop was something super cool and useful, and it's an experience that I think people don't really get nowadays. And consumer goods aren't really going in the direction of repairability. And while I understand that for people who aren't interested in repairing their own stuff, aren't really interested in that, I get it. That's fine. It often leads to other improvements like waterproofing for phones and stuff like that. And to be fair, I do like my phone being waterproof. It's cool. It's nice. It's just that a lot of things aren't really built to last. And I find that with older products, they usually are. And it's to a degree where it's almost shocking comparing the build quality of something, newer, but again, a little bit cheaper versus something that was originally sold at a much higher price, but is now considered, 10 years old. So with that being said, take a look around. Maybe the solution isn't just buying the new thing that you just saw an ad for. Maybe the solution is, I don't know, finding a G7 Panasonic for 4K video or something. I don't know. There's solutions everywhere. Take a look.